Guys, it's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to another video, and today we're outside of Morongo actually. Took the 2-hour drive outside of LA to check this place out. So, the night is young. It's pitch black, but it's 6 o'clock right now. We just got on the lists. We were on the 5-10 list for a while, but there's no 5-10 running unfortunately. So we're on the 1-3 and 2-5 list. Hopefully those go pretty quickly and we can get into the action. But this place is really cool. Pretty big on an Indian reservation. Might walk around, check the place out, maybe get some cool B-roll footage, but kind of hop into the Morongo. We've seen a lot of this action from Mariano, first time checking it out ourselves, so wish us luck. We'll hop in the action pretty soon. Hopping into the 2-5 at Morongo, max buy-in of $800. First hand in, there's an under the gun straddle, and I'm in +1, and I decided to blind raise to 20. It's early in the session. For one reason or another, I was in quite the gambling mood, so let's just make it interesting. Anyways, we look down at Queen 9 offsuit, which is not terrible, and it becomes a 7-way pot. 6 players limp in. I don't have the option to raise it up here in this instance because I did blind raise. So we're going 7 ways, pretty much a bomb pot to the flop. The flop is ace, 4, 4, 2 spades. Really not great for us. So action checks to the cutoff player who thinks about betting for quite some time, pulls out some chips, and ends up checking. The button checks, and we're going 7 ways to a turn. Turn comes a queen, so pretty good spot here. I was actually pulling money out of my wallet during this time to top off back to 500, but now with the pair, I'm going to definitely be betting here. I sized to $65, and the only player that makes the call is the cutoff, who thought about betting, so a little bit suspicious about what his holdings could be. Could be sometimes ace X, could be a spade draw, but we'll evaluate on a river. The river comes a 3, total blank, and with just a pair of queens, I decided to check. He counts up $60 in chips and puts them in front of him, then grabs another stack of 60, and then takes a third stack of 60, adds them all together, and throws them in the middle. Facing such a big bet, it's an easy snap call from us, assuming he's on a draw and bluffing. He shows down 8-5 of spades, so we win this one somehow, 7 ways to the flop with Queen 9 off, taking us down first hand of the day. Next spot, we pick up an improvement. Queen 9 suited this time, on the button, still playing 7-handed. A brand new player in under the gun opens it up to $15. On to me. I decided to just flat call here, very playable on the button, and the big blind calls as well. So 3 ways to the flop, which comes King 3-5, 2 clubs. Big blind checks, under the gun bets $35, and here $35 into 45 in the middle. Definitely not priced in, but we're in position. It's early on in the session. Let's gamble. Whatever. We make the call, and the big blind folds. Turn comes the 8 of clubs, which is perfect. Unfortunately, he checks to us, so it seems like he's certainly afraid of the flush. Anyways, we're going to be throwing out a bet here for value all the time once we get there. So I bet $70 setting up a river shove, as he only has about 200-ish behind. He tanks for about 45-ish seconds and ends up folding, unfortunately. So no more value from us getting there with the flush, but we'll take down the pot. Next spot, we have ace-king offsuit under the gun, 7-handed, and I open up the action to $20. We have the button, who's got a pretty short stack with about $300 in his stack. He 3-bets to 75. It folds back to me, and I'm going to do something very unorthodox here. Because he's very short, I actually snap 4-bet shove. I want to maximize fold equity, give out the impression that we do have a premium, but yeah, I snap shove, trying to give a strong impression that I have a good hand, but he ends up thinking about it, then puts in the call for chips, so we're off to a runout. The flop comes king high, which is always a good thing. Even better, runner, hearts for the nut flush is also good as well. We show our hand taking this down against pocket queens, so Nice to win that race there, but with only $300 playing 2-5, it's going to be a shove all in. Next hand, we've been running well so far, picking up King-Queen off on the button. There's an undergun limper, and from what I've seen at the table so far, it seems like he's a very solid reg here, mainly plays 5-10. So when action folds to me here, definitely going to be raising, and I elect for a size of $25. Only the undergun player makes the call, who seems to be a pretty competent player. The flop comes King, Queen, 8, 2 hearts. This makes us playing this hand pretty darn easy. When action checks to me, I'm going to c-bet just $25 with the top 2. Plenty of draws out there, and we'll size up on most turns. He makes the call for 25, and the turn comes a king. This is pretty perfect. But like I said, I'm going to be betting once again when he checks to us. With the absolute nuts here, we size up to $80, expecting him to be making the call a decent percentage of the time with either draws or Queen X. He does do that and makes the call. The river comes the Ace of Clubs. This isn't really the most ideal card in the world, as I don't think I can get maximum value if I were to pot it. When he checks to us, hoping he has some sort of Ace X holding, maybe Ace Queen. I'm not entirely sure, but I size to $145. He quickly makes the call. We show our hand, and we are good as he flashes us King Jack. So pretty coolish spot there for him to turn trips. And we're running really well so far shortly in the session. Following spot, picking up Ace 9 of clubs. The very next hand, I'm still trying to stack my chips from winning. But we have +1 who opens it up to 20. And here facing an early position open. Suited ace, we're just going to play it. Probably widening up my range a little too much, but we've been running really well. So I make the call, and we're going heads up to a flop. The flop comes Ace 5, 7, 2 spades. He c-bets $25 into 40, and this is a pretty easy call for us. I'm going to see what develops on the turn. The turn comes the King of Hearts. Once again, he throws out another bet, this time for $70. Trying to take a step back now and figure out what is going on here. He opened from early position. He's a very solid player, so I assume he's got to have a much more narrow range. Hands that I really beat right now are mainly just semi-bluffs, because I don't think he's going to be overplaying worse aces in this spot. I don't even think they're in his range from early position. And the only semi-bluffs I beat are King X of spades that have really good equity against us. So with that said, we're pretty beat by any other ace, and he also has a lot of just ace X's for 2 pairs or larger kickers. Pretty ambitious to put his range as narrow as King X of spades, but here we are. I could find a fold, but that's boring. I toss in 70 for a call. The river is now the 10 of spades. Not great. I'm never good here against literally anything. He checks, and we're just going to take this to showdown, hoping we're good somehow, but pretty unlikely. He shows us ace-king, and we're going to muck this one, losing this hand. This next one is a pretty big one, so let's just start talking about it. Pocket tens in the big blind, and the undergun player opens it up to $15. Around the table, action goes. There are 3 callers to me, so $60 in the middle right now. We're out of position. We have pocket tens, a pretty strong hand facing a very small open from under the gun. We have to be good here a large percentage of the time, so let's 3-bet. We size up to $120. We're out of position. A lot of money in there, so this sizing is a little bit large, but good enough. It's good enough for the undergun player who makes the call. He doesn't have to have a narrow range here. Haven't really seen him play too much, but opening $15 seems pretty small. So we're going to a flop heads up as all the other players fold. He's got about a pot-sized bet left behind, so 1-to-1 SPR in this spot. The flop comes Jack, 3, 4, 2 clubs. Not loving the Jack out there, but I think this flop is just going to be good enough to rip it all in. I think there's really no other sizing that makes sense here. So with that said, with pocket tens, we're just going to shove it in his face and see what happens. He calls really quickly, which is not great at all.
I have a pair of tens, which is not good.
This runout seems decent enough for us. Comes a 5, then a 6, and I show my pair of tens, and he shows us pocket sevens for the runner straight. This one kind of hurts. Don't love to see that. Very disappointing to lose to runner straights, but can't say I haven't won with the runners before. A few hands go by, and now in this next spot, King 10 of spades under the gun. I opened things up to $20, and I think I can go either way with this. This can certainly be in the muck, but we're playing 7-handed, and we want to play hands here as we're just kind of vacationing, I guess. So we get 2 players in position to call, the cutoff and the button. Off to a flop, which is pretty good. It's 10-6-4 rainbow. Dry enough flop with top pair, pretty good kicker. I see about $40 for value, and only the cutoff makes the call. From what I've seen, he seemed to be very sticky and very prone to be making calls very often, so let's just target this and go for value. The turn comes the 6 of spades, brings out the full rainbow, and not necessarily the best ideal card to see because he definitely has a lot of 6Xs in his range and can certainly be calling with a 6 on the flop. Anyways, I can't be afraid of it just yet. I decided to throw out a bet of $65, and he doesn't think too long before making the call, so we feel pretty decent about this, as flatting here makes it less likely that he has trips, so we're going to evaluate a river. The river comes a deuce, and now total brick on this board. I've got to assume that my hand is good here a large percentage of the time, so he has about $450 behind, and I can very much see him calling an all-in with a hand like Queen 10, Jack 10, 10-9, even 10-8. So with that said, I make a very exploitative move and ship it all in. Very light value overbet jam. He thinks, and not too long before tossing in the call, I show my hand expecting to be good, and you can't freaking believe it. He shows us one ace, followed by another, picking up pocket aces, slow playing them, and letting me blast off into him. We're on mega tilt.
Fuck. I need to sit down because I'm mega tilted. Tried to be exploitative. Exploitative did not work out that time. My tilt level is if I had to say my tilt level between 1 to 10, it's probably at a fucking 58. I was up 800. We are down at least 200. Doubling up 2 players, almost on back-to-back hands. Mega tilt. We'll see if we can try to regroup out here and figure it out, but right now, I think I'm lost. I think all hope is lost for me for this session. I think I'm on mega deep bend tilt. So we just racked up. I can't say that we were able to, oh my god, it's so dark. I can't say that we were able to recover from that mega tilt. I'm tilted. I played for, this is a really cool spot here. Look at this. You got some blue action and I'm still really dark. And then you got some pink. This was like a nightclub, I guess, Morongo. Like you can see like the bars and stuff. Very cool. I'm gonna stay by here. So I never was able to recover. We played for an hour and a half. We ran it up really hot, but I was in for 500, out for 315. So that's an L of a day. Yeah, I'm still not recovered from it. It's the losing part that I have trouble with. I'm a real sore loser is what I've figured out. And I can't get over it. Pissed about how I played, pissed about the run out, pissed about losing. I'm a real sore loser. And when I win, I'm never really too high anyways. But when I lose, it's like a punch to the gut. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. The visit to Morongo. I might be coming here once again in a week or two. But this view from the second story is really cool. So with that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one for sure. We can't run pure all the time, right? We almost did in the beginning, almost.